How's it going, everyone? Data here, and welcome back to the Philadelphia Flyers franchise mode, episode number 10, headed into the 2024-25 regular season. Now, before I get today's episode started, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you for over 5,000 subscribers. When we hit 5,000, we were in the middle of a live stream. The Nazem Kadri news had just dropped, but I want to take a moment now. I put out a post and everything, but really just in one of the franchise mode videos to say thank you for the 5,000. Hopefully you enjoyed our live stream celebration last night, which is tonight when I'm recording, but last night, which was the Cup or Bust with the Montreal Canadiens alumni in the alumni franchise mode. So I hope that you enjoyed that. If you didn't, you can go back and check it out as it's a posted video now on the channel. But it's been a great journey over the last 2.5 years or so, and there's still much more to come. So thank you everyone who has contributed one way or another to the channel. Now, into last episode, we had a welcome surprise as we had much more money than we had anticipated, thanks to Claude Giroux taking less than we originally thought. He signed 1 year at 6.75 as opposed to the 7 millions. We also got Carter Hart for less than we had expected, 1 year at 4.45, which left us with more money than we had anticipated. And with that money, we went out and signed someone who wanted a 1-year deal, and that was Joe Pavelski. He's 40 years of age, but he's 88 overall. 1 year, $9 million. It sounds expensive, but he is coming off of an 86-point season in a full 82-game year. So if he could continue to do some of that, that would be money well spent. Additionally, it was difficult because a lot of the big fish in free agency wanted multi-year contracts, 6-7 years. We were just looking for a 1 or 2 year max type of thing because we won't have this type of money next season. But headed into 2024-25, our third season with the Flyers, we're kind of in that win now mode, as we'll have good players in the future to replace the ones who are leaving, but we would like to get it done while Claude Giroux is still at a high enough overall. Joe Pavelski has given us a great opportunity. William Nylander and Sean Couturier give that first line the +5. Moritz Seider now at a 91 overall. We acquired him from the Red Wings because they buried him in the minor leagues. He was not happy with the Red Wings management, and now here he is in Philadelphia. We added some X factors for him over the offseason, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. Now with our new head coach as well, who gives that first defensive pairing a +2. So the team looks great, but our biggest question headed into this season will be, who are the guys kind of in that bottom 6, that third D pair? Because we have a lot of good younger players. We have Mark McLaughlin, we have Tyson Forster, we have Connor McLennan. In our scratches, we have Matthew Savoie, who are going to be trying to make the NHL, Wade Allison, Cooper Zek. And then in the AHL, we also have guys like Braden Tracy, other fringe guys like Denoyer or Lachinsky. On defense, there's Wiley, there's Enright, who has top 60 potential. So there's a lot of different players who might be making a push. We're also going to be seeing some action for the first time from Eve Gascon, who I'm not sure what the stat would be called exactly, but I guess you would say is the first woman to play in the regular season of the NHL or AHL. I guess that's what you could call it. As she'll be getting regular season minutes in the AHL and hopefully someday regular season minutes in the NHL. But baby steps here in Philadelphia. Eve Gascon's in our system, and it's great to see that history is being made. So with all of that understood, it's not too much to go over in the comments, just some suggestions for the lineup. Let's dive into what the assistant general managers had to say. First comment coming in from Alfred. Much love to Alfred, who loved the trade to the draft. We traded up for pick number 5, then swapped pick number 5 for pick number 4. Two top 5 trades in under a minute. Just magic, my friend. The off seasons are my favorite just because we get to see a master at their craft. Thank you, Alfred. The hot dogs in the general manager's booth are on me. As for suggestions, I think Savoie gets at least 9 games. We give him his 9-game trial. He either sticks in the NHL or gets sent back to the juniors. Let's see what he can do with Pavelski. Unless a monster name is available, I say we sign depth and short-term deals because the growth is there so far. As always, great video. Thank you, Alfred. Derek made a nice point here. Nice job getting Paros, the sniper we drafted at 5th overall. And here's an ounce of realism to add to it. He comes from the U.S. National Team Development Program. From York to Farabee to Gauthier and Kaplan, the Flyers love drafting out of the USN TDP. And honestly, I can't blame them, or us, because it's a great hockey program. So Josh Paros, who we drafted 5th overall in the draft last episode, we didn't think we were going to... Personally, I didn't think we were going to get him. I didn't think we were going to be trading up. But because the Predators wanted to trade their pick, we made it happen. Owen Tippett and Scott Lawton with the 19th overall pick went to Nashville for pick number 5. Pick number 5, we traded up for pick number 4, and we went ahead and got Parros. He is a 77 overall medium league player out of the draft at 18 years of age with 4-star shooting. And as we'll see in the coming comments, we're going to sign him to his ELC right now and get him into the AHL lineup with the Phantoms to begin this next season. Ransom YG comments, I could easily see Pavelski taking the slot of Giroux. Pavelski to first-line winger, Giroux to third-line center. Believe that maybe Pavelski would sim better than Giroux on the first line. Love the vid as always, man. Thank you very much. If we do swap Pavelski to that first line, the +5 chemistry is maintained. That's good. Claude Giroux does not have a good fit on the third line, so maybe we put him on the second. For example, if we put him instead of Farabee, there's a +1. Instead of Frost, there's a +2. Instead of Brink, it's a 0. So I could see Giroux being top 6. I could see Pavelski cracking there as well. Because as Michael put in his comment in the paragraph on line combinations, I don't think you pay a guy $9 million to play third/power play. I would consider moving Nylander to the left. Maybe Pavelski goes right wing on the first line. Then you could have Giroux as third line center or even second line like you were considering for Pavelski. It looks like despite being a two-way forward, Pavelski's sim numbers were a bit closer to sniper than Giroux's. I also think we give Savoie a shot in the preseason, but most likely send him back down to the WHL. Maybe third line/power play will give him a serious shot. You always do great with watching the preseason and moving guys around, so whatever your choice is, I support. Thank you, Michael. And back to the top of the comment. Love the moves. Those trades in the first round were huge and gave us Parros, draft capital, and freed up enough cap space to get Giroux, Hart, and Pavelski. Huge win there. Going back down to the paragraph on trades, while there's a lot that can happen in the sim, I think if we're a losing team, though I feel like it's unlikely, trading some of our NHL players for some picks next year would be interesting because it is going to be a high draft class. As much as I love Giroux and Pavelski, we might be able to get late first-round picks for them and take advantage of that class. If it's a winning season, I'd even consider trading some of our prospects and bottom 6/AHL guys about to break into the NHL to get some picks for this upcoming year. Some of those fringe guys, give them opportunities elsewhere, recoup some picks. We have a younger roster for the most part, so some of those guys aren't going to make it into our system beyond third/fourth line. So moving some of them while their potential is still top 6, top 9, whatever, and their value is higher for some picks makes sense. Absolutely. Some more thoughts on the X factors that I touched upon in my reply comment to Michael, but he is excited for the start of the season. Great episode as always. Love watching how you do the contracts and trades for ideas to incorporate into my own franchise. That's why it's educational here in franchise mode. Let's go Flyers. Thank you, Michael. Closing it off with Scott, who comments, the Bruins offering the head coaching job to the guy they fired is peak real-life NHL coaching carousel. The guy we signed as head coach had just been fired by the Bruins, and the Bruins were interested in him again, but we got him as our head coach, and he's doing well with the chemistry. Love the move to draft Parros. Great way to maximize what little draft capital we had. One thing, remember Parros is American, so we could sign him to his ELC and play him in the AHL, assuming he doesn't ace the preseason test and make the roster. Also, like Etch said in a previous comment, which was in the video, realistically, he is the 4th overall pick and a guy we traded up for, so he would likely get an ELC. In the AHL, he could take the place of any of those top 9, bottom 6 replacement guys we have just filling space. Also, concerning the goaltending situation in the AHL, I probably would have let Urson walk and rolled with Sandstrom and Gascon in the AHL. Urson is a 74 overall with backup potential, and he's already 24, so he's just taking away reps from Gascon's starter potential. Thank you, Scott. That's exactly what we're going to do. We'll sign Parros to his ELC, slap him in the AHL lineup. After the preseason, we're going to call up Ustimenko as our 3rd goalie. Sandstrom will stay as the emergency backup as our 4th goalie, someone we can trust a bit more as a 77 overall. Gascon will back him up, and Samuel Urson will be someone that we can trade away. Although he's 3 years younger, he is 3 overall less and has the same potential of medium backup. It's unlikely that he becomes anything much for us. We do have players ahead of him in the pipeline, so although he does have the potential to grow into whatever, let's say a guy who could be 78 overall or so, it's not anything that would make me say I want to take away reps from Gascon, who has medium starter potential. So all that being said, trading Urson, trading some other bottom 6 guys or whoever else in the AHL who may not make the NHL, we can't know that yet before we go through the preseason. So first things first, we're going to sign Parros to his ELC, put him in the AHL. I don't think I'm even going to give him an audition in the NHL. I might give him like 1 game. If he really surprises, I'll keep him. But there's just no room. And as a 77 overall, it's already kind of pushing it. Already 78 for Savoie is pushing it. But I'll give him his ELC. It's been a dream of his to join the team. I will not let you down. Welcome, Josh. So there's other players who are fighting for it who need that time more than Parros does. Even if Parros is better, like I'd rather put Forster, who's 79 at 21 or whatever, however old he is, because his growth is a bit more necessary because we're getting desperate before he just, kind of fizzles out. So we'll simulate towards the first game of the preseason. Here we are against the Carolina Hurricanes. As always, I'm going to change up the lines every game of the preseason, show you the box score, the game log of that game, then show you the lineup of the next game, and keep going through that, rotating different ideas until we have an idea of what the actual lineup will look like for opening night. The very last thing I have to say before we get started is that you can already tell by the title of this video, but I'd like to do the entirety of the 2024-25 season in one episode. If we do the whole season in one episode, then assuming there's playoffs and then there's the postseason, it takes 3 episodes at a minimum to get through a season. Now, if we're doing 2 or 3 episodes per week with career simulations and other stuff that take a lot of time as well, if we're doing about a season every week, week and a half, that means we could probably only do maybe 7 or 8 full seasons before NHL 23. Then we'll do the wrap up and everything else. So I'd like to get through as many years in Philadelphia before we have to just do the wrap up. The summer series is always slightly shorter than the fall series, which, Seattle went for like 30, 40 episodes, right? I don't know, maybe into the 30s for episodes, high 20s, something like that. But time will tell. I just want you to know that I'm going to be trying to get through the entirety of the season. If we can't, because I really need to pause to ask the questions to the assistant general managers, then we will do so. But the goal for today is to get through the entirety of the season. That means going a bit more quickly through the calendar, a few less slow sims, stuff like that. But having said that, let's get an idea of our lineup for the first game of the preseason and start giving some of these players an audition to make their case. All right, game number 1 of the preseason. We're going to go first line Farabee, Frost, and Pavelski. Second line Lindblom, Forster, and Brink. I really want to give Forster a good chance. First round pick in 2020. He's 22 years of age now, that top 6 potential. He's got to thrive out here. Third line, I'm going to give Parros his 1 game to appease the masses. We'll see how he does. Matthew Savoie will be his center, and Connor McLennan, his buddy from the Winnipeg Ice, will be on his right. Wade Allison, Isaac Ratcliffe, and Mark McLaughlin on the 4th. Defense, York Sider, Sanheim Risto, and Zach with Wiley. Goaltending, actually, I don't think I'm going to give Carter Hart the start. I'm going to give it to Subban. We already know that Hart is our starter, but Ustimenko and Subban are kind of fighting for who's going to be full-time backup now that Ustimenko is a 79 overall. So Malcolm Subban will have the start, and this will be our lineup against the Hurricanes. In game number 1 of the preseason, the Flyers win 3-2 in a shootout. 2 third-period goals by Svechnikov tied it up, but Matthew Savoie and Bobby Brink scored in the shootout to win it for us. 1 assist from Pavelski, 1 assist from Lindblom up in that first line. Ristolainen and Brink with the goals. Also Forster and Frost getting assists. Any negatives in this one? -1 from Sider, Ratcliffe, York, Allison. So the 4th line, -1. Maybe I'll try to mix up the 4th line a little bit. Shout out to Cam York, who had like 28 minutes of ice time. Not too many big changes necessary into the next one. No points from Parros in 13:31 of ice time. They did take 4 shots on net, which was second most on the team. Forster had 6. So I want to see more from Forster. Parros, again, I'd like to see more from him, but it's just unrealistic that he's going to have a spot in the lineup, I think, because guys like McLennan and Forster need it more at the moment. I want Parros to be able to grow in a big role on the first line in the AHL, and then be able to crack the NHL in 2025-26. So here will be the lineup for game number 2 of the preseason. All right, so for the second game of the preseason, we're going to go Farabee, Frost, and Nylander, get him into the lineup. The second line will stay the same. They did very well, Brink, Forster, and Lindblom. Third line now Savoie with McLennan, but now Ratcliffe on the left instead. And Matthew Strome will get some chances on the 4th line, playing with Pavelski and Allison. Obviously, Pavelski not trying out for 4th line center. Just want to keep giving him some ice time while giving other players chances in the top 6. Defense, York Sider, Sanheim, Risto, Zek, and Wiley. They did well. They were both +1s on that 3rd pair. And also, I said shout out to Cam York for all of his ice time. Moritz Sider, I didn't notice, had over 30.5 minutes in that first game of the preseason. So, kudos to you. Subban will once again get the start with Ustimenko backing him up. So let's see how we do against the Islanders. It was another 3-2 shootout result, but this time the Flyers dropped in the shootout. It was 2-2 through regulation, obviously. Let's see who got the goals in this one. Pavelski and Farabee both getting goals. Frost, Allison, Nylander, and Sanheim registering assists. Negatives in this one, Sider and York, a lot of ice time for them. Not really a game that tells you too much. Obviously, Pavelski in that 4th line role is a bit exaggerated. So I think after a couple of solid games, I'll give Pavelski a few nights off. I'm going to get a different guy in at 4th line center. But I think the rest of the lineup will stay the same for game 3 of the preseason. All right, for this game, we're going to go Farabee, Couturier, and Nylander on the first line. Couturier and Nylander got to start generating that chemistry. Second line, we'll go Brink, Frost, and Lindblom, a possible second line. Third line, Ratcliffe, Savoie, McLennan. And fourth line, Strome with Forster and Allison. As much as I'd like Forster to be higher in the lineup, if he does make the lineup, this is likely where he will be. And possibly those are his line mates. So it gets a +1. Let's see how he does. Defense, York Sider, Ronnie, Risto, Zek, and Wiley, who are both +2s. And Ustimenko will get the start, and Subban backing up. He's a .929 save percentage through 2 games, making a good case so far, but let's give Ustimenko a chance. Big win from the Flyers in this one. Another 3-2 scoreline, but this time in regulation. Flyers were down 2-1, but come back with 2 third-period goals to win it 3-2 the final. Goals in this one from Brink, McLennan, and Allison. The fourth line's been doing well no matter who's at center. 2 assists from Ratcliffe and a +2. Assists from Forster, Frost, Wiley, and Strome. Wyatt Wiley making his case out there. Zek also a +2. Shout out to him. No negatives in this one either, so very impressive to see that. Moritz Seider just a horse out there at 30-22 of ice time. I'm going to give him a few nights off now that we definitely know he's our #1 guy. But good things to see. Forster's doing well. Allison doing well. We'll adjust accordingly heading into the next game. Ustimenko had a .938 save percentage. We want to see a little bit more from him. So let's see the lineup for game number 4. Game 4, the Battle of Pennsylvania ahead. We're going to go Giroux, Couturier, Brink on the first line, +3. Lindblom, Frost, McLaughlin. Farabee has a playable injury, so I'm just slotting McLaughlin in there for the moment. McLennan, Savoie, Ratcliffe on that third line, and Strome, Forster, Allison on the fourth. The bottom 6 will stay the same as they did well. Defense, York, Ellis, Sanheim, Ronnie, Zek, and Wiley, and Ustimenko gets the start. Another comeback victory for the Flyers as they were down 3-2 after the first period, but came back to win 4-3 with 2 third-period goals. Another 1-goal game. Love to see it. Couturier, Brink, and Ellis all with 2 points. Goal scorers in this one were Couturier, Brink, Sanheim, and Giroux. Also assists from Allison and Forster, who continue to make their point to make this team. The plus-minuses in this one. -2s from Lindblom, Frost, McLaughlin, Zek. Ooh, that hurts. But Wiley, a 0 when it comes to his plus-minus. So he's still +4. Zek will now be a -2. And Wiley playing almost 20 minutes of ice time there. I want to see a bit more from Wiley. Zek, he's on the fence right now. McLaughlin, I really haven't been impressed at all. Maybe I put him first-line center in the AHL to help Parros grow. But let's see what kind of lineup we have for game number 5, as we got to start thinking about what our actual lineup will be headed into the regular season. Ratcliffe was likely injured as he only played 2.5 minutes there, so let's see the changes that we make. Game 5 of the preseason, we're going to go Lindblom, Couturier, Pavelski first line for the +2, Brink, Giroux, Farabee second line for another +2. Tracy will get his first game of the preseason. Why not? Throw it in there with Savoie and McLennan, since Ratcliffe has a playable injury. And fourth line maintained as Allison, Forster, and Strome have been playing very well together. Defense, York, Ellis, Sanheim, Ronnie, Zek, Wiley. No changes there. Subban will start with Ustimenko, backing him up. They'll get 1 more start each before Carter Hart starts the 7th game. So these will be their last opportunities to prove themselves. We dropped this one by a score of 4-2 as the Devils win it there. No empty netters, all 4 regulation goals. Goals coming from Lindblom and Strome. Assists from Couturier, Ellis, and Allison. I'm loving that fourth line. The plus-minus is here. -2s from Wiley and Zek. Yikes. Still -1 from Allison, Strome, and Forster, despite them playing well in that fourth line. And a lot of 0s everywhere else. Malcolm Subban had an .875 save percentage. Ustimenko came in, faced 1 shot in almost 12.5 minutes, and made the save. Tough night there from Malcolm. Ustimenko will start the next game, and I think we'll have to start making some cuts headed into game 6 out of 7 of the preseason. I think Connor McLennan is a candidate to be cut here. 1 goal in 5 games. I think I'm going to have to cut him. As a sniper, I would want it a bit more. I understand he's a 79 overall, but he's getting good opportunities, 12.5 minutes of ice time per night. Matthew Savoie is very close to being cut as well. I don't even know if he'll get his 9-game trial. No points through 5 games. Braden Tracy, no points in that 1 game, but I'm going to give him 1 more, I think. The fourth line will stay the same. Here's how we'll look. So let's try that potential first line of Giroux, Couturier, and Nylander with the +5. Lindblom with Savoie and Pavelski +2 on the second line. If Savoie can't score with this, then I don't know what's going to work. Farabee with Tracy and Brink, -1, but that's all right. Strome, Forster, Allison on the fourth. Defense, I'm going to give York the night off. We'll go Sanheim, Ellis, Ronnie, Risto, Zek, and Wiley. That's their last chance as well in that third pair. Ustimenko getting his final start of the preseason. And we'll see if he can stand out enough to surpass Subban as a potential backup to start the year. We dropped this one 3-2. The Capitals pulling it out in the third period. Sanheim and Zek, 2 defensemen, being our goal scorers. Shout out to them. Plus minus is here. +2 from Tracy, Farabee, and Brink. +1 from Ellis and Sanheim. A bunch of zeros, and then some -1s over here. So not the greatest game. The fourth line barely played, actually, as Allison and Strom only had like 5 minutes of ice time each. So not the greatest sample size there. Ustimenko had a .903 save percentage, not making it easy. But with all this information now, we're going to try and get an idea of how our lineup will look for the 7th and final preseason game. Savoie buddies, 6 games, no points. Coming off, you're just on that second line with a +2 with Pavelski. I don't know. I think Savoie likely gets sent to the juniors to start next season. It doesn't hurt to have him get a little bit of a trial, perhaps, but really, I don't know. Tracy as well is fun to have you, but we'll send him back down. The fourth line will likely stay the same, but let's try the lines like this. All right, game 7 of the preseason. We're going Giroux, Couturier, Nylander on the first line, Farabee, Frost, Brink on the second. Let's try Lindblom, Pavelski, Ratcliffe on the third. Savoie, there's not a lot of room for you, buddy, so if you're going to do something, it's going to have to be on the fourth line with Forster and Allison. Already bumping Strome out is something I didn't really want to do. York, Sider, Sanheim, Ellis, Zek, and Ristolainen. Let's try that. Wiley was great, but Zek just has better defensive attributes. 89 shot blocking, 89 stick checking. I believe those are 83, 84 for Wiley. So let's try Zek with Risto. Ronnie will stay as a healthy scratch, so will Strome. And Carter Hart will get the start, backed up by Malcolm Subban at the moment. But Ustimenko, I might put him as the actual backup. I'm kind of just keeping Subban there because maybe something will happen, Hart gets pulled, and Subban can get another opportunity to kind of try and prove himself. But let's go through it a bit more slowly for this 7th game. We'll bring you through at Nationwide Arena against the Blue Jackets. They are 3-3-0. We are 3-2-1 through 6 games of the preseason. Let's see what we got here. First period, Cam York scoring on Merzlikins. Second period, 2-1. Boquist scores for them. Matthew Savoie, there he is on the power play. Second power play unit centerman scoring the goal, his first point of the entire preseason. Third period, Sillinger ties it up. Pasternak takes the lead. Sider scores shorthanded, but then Kent Johnson, the final minute of the period, scores the winner. Shots end 35-28 in our favor, but the Blue Jackets take it 4-3 as we end the preseason 3-3-1. Farabee and Brink with a couple of assists each. Savoie with that goal with just 7:44 of ice time. Forster, the only plus in the entire game. Farabee, Frost, Sanheim, -2s, a bunch of other -1s out there. Not the most promising preseason, I would say, but hopefully we can shake off the rust and head into the regular season with a bit more confidence. I think the lines will kind of stay the same headed into the actual season. I got to fix the special teams units and things like that. But I think for personnel, we'll start with it like this. If Savoie doesn't stick after his 9 games and we send him back down, that will likely mean that McLaughlin comes back up, but I really wasn't impressed with him in the preseason either. Defensively, we have our 7. Cooper Zek at the end of the 7 games had 1 goal, 4 penalty minutes, was an even +-. Ronnie through 4 games, no points, no penalty minutes, a +1, and the better potential as well. So I'm probably going to play Ronnie over Cooper, but Cooper did get his spot as 7th D. I think Ustimenko gets the backup role as well. At the moment, .915 save percentage, 2.51 goals against average, versus Subban's .910 save percentage and 2.7 goals against average, but that is just for the moment. That changes quite fluidly. So I'm going to simulate towards the beginning of the regular season, fix up the special teams and all that good stuff down in the AHL, etc., and then we'll be ready to start 2024-25. Now that I have an idea of the lines, there are a couple of players who are surplus. Lachinsky's one of them, 78 overall, exact top 9 potential now at the age of 27. Never quite cracked the lineup here, a 6th round pick back in 2016. He'd be a bottom 6 guy with the Phantoms, so it's not worth just wasting away down there. Urson, the 74 overall backup, who is just surplus in the goaltending department as well. See if I can get a 4th and a 7th from the Flames, ship them off to the Western Conference. Rejected, let's see if we can just get the 4th for them. Still rejected. Can I even get just a 7th round pick for these guys? Like, I feel crazy even doing this. Now here, okay, goodbye. Or even just the 7th, even still hugely inflated. But if I can't get a 7th for him, then what can I get for him? Let's try the trade finder. Here we go. I can get a 7th from Buffalo. Okay, there we go. There's all these teams that want to give me 7ths, but the other guys say it's hugely inflated. Can I trade Lachinsky with Urson? Let's see. No trades found. All right, it's gonna have to be separate deals then. So let's move him to a Western Conference team, either Colorado or, you know what, let's send him to Nashville. They were a bad team last year, plus they helped us out for that 5th overall pick. So Lachinsky off to the Predators for a 7th. Thank you very much. What kind of a screen is this? I don't know. I've never seen that before. Just go to roster moves and back out. Let's see if we can get Urson in the trade finder as well. There are teams who have like 3 goalies in their entire organization. But yeah, no trades found. All right, so Urson will stay as 3rd goalie in the AHL. And now I can go ahead and fix up the AHL lineup. Okay, it is showtime now for the 2024-25 season. Here is our lineup for opening night. Giroux, Couturier, Nylander with the +5 on that first line. Brink, Frost, Farabee on the second line. The middle 6 is what I'm most unconvinced about. Lindblom, Pavelski, Ratcliffe on the third. Pavelski could very well slot up there for Frost or for Farabee. We'll try and find something else out. Someone for like Forrester or Savoie could bump up in that middle 6 as well. Savoie, Forrester, and Allison will start on the 4th line. Forrester's getting penalty kill time. Savoie's getting power play time, so that will supplement the 4th line minutes, but I don't know if Savoie will stick. Defense, we're in York and Sider with the +2 with our new head coach. Sanheim, Ellis, and Ronnie with Risto. Goaltending, it is Hart backed up by Usamenko for opening night, but Malcolm Subban will be hungry to get back in that crease. Strome 13th forward, Zach 7th D-man. For the special teams on the power play units, we're going +2 and +1 with the units looking like this. And on the penalty kill, we have the units at +3 and +2 looking like that. For the starting lineup down in the AHL, we have a +1 on the first line, +2 on the second line. Defense, not great chemistry, unfortunately, and it is Sandstrom backed up by Gascon. So let's get our 3rd year in Philadelphia started, coming off of 2 second-round exits in round number 1 and round number 2. We are hungry here in this 3rd season. Our first full year with William Nylander in the lineup. We have Joe Pavelski joining the team. We have a 91 overall Moritz Seider. It all starts here at the Wells Fargo Center for Game 1 of season number 3 with GM Data and his team of assistant general managers. Let's get this party started. First period at home, 1-1 early on. Tyson Forster scores his first NHL goal, likely on his first shift, just 1 minute and 39 seconds into the game. Greenway scores on the power play, and it's a 1-1 game. Who took a penalty there in the first, seconds of the game? High-sticking double minor. That's nice. 36 seconds in for Ryan Ellis. Well done. Second period, 1-1 game. It is now 2-2 after 40. Bobby Brink gives us the lead, but Alex Kovanov ties it back up. Shots 22-20 for the Wild. We're tied at 2. Bobby Brink also in a top 6 role, hopefully permanently for the first time in his career, as he's been a 3rd liner the last couple seasons. Halfway through the 3rd period, we're now taking the lead in the shot category, back to tied at 25. Wild back in the lead in that regard, but it's still a 2-2 game with 5 minutes to go. Under 5 now, and it's a very tight one. Shots being exchanged back and forth, and we are headed to overtime with the shots 31-28 in the Wild's favor. Game number 1 of the season. Let's hop in and see this. At the Wells Fargo Center, Giroux at the dot up against Joel Eriksson-Ek. The captain wins it back to Moritz Seider. Seider puts it off his skate and into the bench. Gritty's getting fired up to open up this season. The fans are very excited. Giroux and Nylander with Seider against Kaprizov, Eriksson-Ek, and Jared Spurgeon. Faceoffs 44-25 for the Flyers. Then they just won another one. Nylander, smooth move, nice wrist shot, blocker save from Jesper Wallstedt. Hits Spurgeon in the corner, battling with him. Nylander fighting hard in those corners. Spurgeon puts it in front into Kaprizov, who gets hit, can't exit the zone. Now Seider has it down low, in front Nylander. Oh, that would have gone. Big save Wallstedt, what a block. To Seider at the point. Nylander, another chance. And Wallstedt will swallow that up. Wow. Open on the doorstep. I think it was Spurgeon who blocked the shot as Nylander had the wide open cage. Are they going to show it right here? No, let's see it. Great teamwork here as Kaprizov's trying to exit the zone. Seider hits Kaprizov. Nylander picks up the puck, passes it back to Seider. Seider passes it in front to Nylander, but then the block from Spurgeon as Wallstedt was just coming across. Then he makes the save on the second attempt. Electric stuff to open up this overtime. Defensive zone faceoff now for Pavelski and Couturier against Fiala and Rossi. Rossi wins back to Kalen Addison. That shot from the point is blocked from Seider, who's still out here. He's board pinned by Fiala. Fiala's going to kick it out, and Pavelski picks it up. Here is Joe Pavelski, 2-on-2. Looking for something, nice little move, gets it on net, and Wallstedt pushes that aside. First units are back out, Nylander and Giroux with Kaprizov and Eriksson-Ek. Offensive zone faceoff here. Shots 5-0 for the Flyers through 3 minutes of overtime. Kaprizov up to Eriksson-Ek. It's a 2-on-2 as Giroux's backing up, pushes him into the boards, tries to pin him, and he does. but he slips away. Eriksson Ek regains the puck. Mayfield at the point gets hit. Now Kaprizov has it at the dot, tries to get it on net, but that hits Ryan Ellis' skate, and Eriksson Ek scores the first shot of the overtime period. A rocket, just a laser beam, just boom, straight from the hash marks there, out of nowhere. Hart probably didn't even see that coming, unfortunately. And the Wild win it in overtime, even though the Flyers were all over them. So Eriksson Ek kind of picks it up in the scuffle and just boom, ring, top shelf. Hart just in shock as that blew by him, and he falls back just in anger and disgust. Alright, so we get 1 point out of this one. It was a great effort in the overtime period. Shots end 33-32 in our favor, but the Wild squeak out that overtime victory. Alright, got that first game out of the way, but we want to get that first dub in the books. Let's try and get it. We're still at home against the Calgary Flames now. And we have a little bit of a homestand to start the season, as we have games against New Jersey and Montreal after that. But let's get that first win out of the way so we can get to some calendar simulation here in a Western Conference matchup once again. First period, 2-1 Flames. Tkachuk scoring twice. The former Calgary Flame in the real world. Farabee scoring on the power play for us. Second period now, 4-4. Wow. Johnny Gaudreau makes it 3-1, but then Nylander scores twice in 8 minutes to make it a 3-3 game. Mangiapane restores the lead, and then Ratcliffe makes it a tie game once more. 4-4 after 40. Shots 28-19 in our favor. William Nylander scoring 2 and on the edge of the hat trick. Power play opportunity doesn't go anywhere. We're at power play for the Flames now as the penalty killers are out. An extended one. But Rasmus, my dear beloved son, Ristolainen, scores a short-handed goal. And the Flyers are now up by 1. Power play once again for the Flames late. Power play Flyers late. Nothing comes from either. And this one ends 5-4. Rasmus Ristolainen with the short-handed game winner. Wow, what a roller coaster of a game. Tkachuk 2 goals and an assist. Risto the goal and the assist. 2 goals from Nylander doesn't even get him a star, but he did very well. 5-4 to get our first win of the season. Hart looked a little shaky, I do have to say, but hopefully as we get into the calendar simulation, he'll be able to find his groove. I'm going to simulate 2 weeks ahead and get to the 8th game of the season. That's when we're going to find out whether or not Savoie sticks. I don't want him to play the 9th game because who knows in EA land if they even calculate that. Oh, he played the 9th game, so now he has to stay. Or no, he didn't play 9 games yet. I don't know. But now we have an injury to Wade Allison, so that means Matthew Strome comes into the lineup regardless. So that'll be good now. We can get a little bit of Strome, a little bit of Savoie, and then we can make a bit more of an informed decision. So that'll be the 4th line, Strome, Forster, and Savoie, as we'll simulate 2 weeks ahead. No thank you, Seattle. Just swapping picks and giving you a prospect for no reason. We beat the Devils 3-2. We beat the Canadiens 3-2 in the shootout. 5-3 loss against the Kings, 3-1-1 in the first 5 games. In Columbus to take on the Blue Jackets to start off the month of November. Allison still out until like November 22nd, I think I saw there. 4-3 shootout loss followed by a 5-2 regulation loss. We're now 3-2-2 taking on the 3-6-1 Vegas Golden Knights. Possibly Savoie's last opportunity before we think about sending him back down. I know he hasn't been given much ice time, but it's hard to bump anyone in that top 9 to the 4th line. First period, it's 2-2. A lot of scoring in that one. Ratcliffe opens it up. Marchessault ties it up. Frost restores the lead. Pietrangelo tied it up once more. Second period now, 3-3. Antti Sorella on a shorthanded goal. Bobby Brink tying it once more. Shots 23-18 for Vegas, but it's all tied up into the final 20 minutes of this one. Ustamenko between the pipes for us tonight. I wonder how Hart's been after the couple of games where we lose by 4 and by 5. Power play Philly didn't go anywhere. Not losing by 4, but we allowed 4 or 5. Power play Vegas doesn't go anywhere either. Once again, power play opportunity back-to-back, and this time Pietrangelo will score as that power play expires. Likely the game winner, and there it is. Can't be taking penalties, boys. Ellis holding and back-to-back minor penalties for Ellis. So that was done at 3:48, and he scored at 3:47. So basically a power play goal. As we drop that one 4-3 the final. Ryan Ellis, you're killing me, buddy. You're killing me. So we are 3-3-2 through 8 games. Let's check out the numbers here. We're taking on the 2-8-0 Vancouver Canucks, but I don't want to play that 9th game for risk of losing and whatever, not being able to send Matthew Savoie back down. Through 8 games, Nylander is point per game with 8, but check out Rasmus Ristolainen, who has 7 points in 8 games. That's crazy. A +5 as well. Love it, love it, love it. Pavelski 5 points, Giroux 5 points, Couturier only 3 points. Maybe we got to fix that top 6 a little bit. Let me just see these. Forster has a couple points. Strome, 1 goal in 4 games. Savoie, 1 assist, -4 in 8 games. I forgot that, he's 20 years old now, so he's not going back to the juniors. But I think sending him to the Lehigh Valley Phantoms for a season would probably be the better idea. Give him those first-line minutes, allow him to grow a little bit more. I think that is the move. Goaltending through 8 games, not great. Both goalies sub-900 save percentages. Let's get Ustimenko out of there. Let's get Malcolm Subban a few starts. Let's change up the lineup a little bit. We'll send down Savoie. We'll call somebody else up to fill in since Allison's injured. And we'll keep on simulating. All right, so I think these line changes are going to help everyone involved. First up, Pavelski to the first line. Give him that +5. I'm going to keep him on the left since he's a right-handed shooter. Second line, Giroux gives Farabee and Brink a +2. Frost can play third line. McLaughlin can come in on the fourth to fill in for Allison. He still maintains the +1 on the fourth line. Meanwhile, Matthew Savoie, who gets sent down, now gives the first line a +3, and Braden Tracy gives that second line a +2, so it's a +3 and +2 within the top 6. So Parros in 80, Savoie in 81, and McLennan in 82. I think that's very good for everyone involved. Savoie can continue to grow. McLaughlin can come up to the NHL. The top 6 change works as well. So we tried it. We gave it an experiment. Matthew Savoie didn't exactly run with it. He didn't have the greatest opportunity, fourth line and second unit power play. But he still didn't do much in the preseason either when he was given middle 6, top 6 minutes. So we're going to continue simulating like this with those new pluses and new personnel. The Canucks are 2-8-0. Malcolm Subban's between the pipes for this one. Let's try and get back on the horse. First period, 0-0. Second period, 1-1. Hoglander scores for the Canucks. Farabee scores on Demko. Farabee now with the +2 on that second line. It's 1-1 after 40. Now here in the third period, shots are pretty tight. No one going too crazy. The Flyers slowly pulling away a bit now, halfway through the period. Power play opportunity for Philly, and Joel Farabee scores his second of the night. Power play once more for Philly. That's killed off. Power play Vancouver. That's killed off as well. 2 minutes to go, 1 minute, and that'll be all she wrote. Shots end 33-31 for the Flyers, and it's a 2-1 victory for Philly as Malcolm Subban in his season debut makes 30 saves on 31 shots. Farabee scores twice with the +2 with the line chemistry. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Let's get back into the calendar simulation now, as now I really want to get a good chunk done. Let's get simulating. I don't know if we're going to get through the entire season. It might just be a half season. In a season where we had to do a lot of thinking about lines and stuff like that. Maybe hopefully next year where we have our lineup set up, we don't need to think about any of that. We can just go straight simulation. But you know what? If we got to cut it in half, we cut it in half. That's just Sean Monahan, here he is, who just came to the Canadiens in the real world. I will decline that. If it takes longer, it takes longer. That's just how it goes. 4-0 loss against the Ducks, 4-3 loss against the Lightning, 1-0 loss against the Penguins. Lovely. Florida Panthers, who are 9-2-0. We beat them 7-4. Ryan Ellis out with a concussion. I wonder what his numbers have even been like. He is a -8 with 1 goal in 18 penalty minutes. Bye, Ryan. And by the way, Cam York, a -13. Like, what? So I'm going to try, let's go Sanheim Cider. Still gives it a +2. Let's go York and Risto, because Risto's been a monster. He has 10 points in 14 games and is a +9. And Zek can play with Ronnie down on the third pair. Let's try that moving forward. Offense, like Sean Couturier, 5 points in 14 games is starting to scare me. He's listed as a second-line forward. I might try him second-line center. It would take away some of the pluses there. Then maybe Pavelski goes first-line center. Farabee comes to the top. Let me go +2, +3. Let's do that. Why the heck not? +2, +3 in the top 6. Let me just change the lines where Ryan Ellis was on. Pretty much just Ristolainen filling in wherever Ryan Ellis was, I think, because he has been a monster. There we go. Malcolm Subban, by the way, down to an .896 save percentage. Lovely. Let's get Carter Hart back between the pipes. It's been a weird season here. That's why we'll likely stop at the halfway point, because we're 5-7-2. We're going to need to be talking about what we're going to be trying to do, if anything, to get back on the horse if things don't turn around soon. Wade Allison is back in the lineup. McLaughlin, when he filled in on the fourth line, he had 1 goal and 2 penalty minutes in 7 games. Not horrible. But let's get that preseason fourth line back in. I'm not sure why it's telling me about a playable injury. Why did it tell me about a playable injury? I don't want players playing when it's playable injuries. Hopefully it's nothing crazy. I'm taking a bit of a risk here. Let's see. 4-0 shutout against the Bruins. Thank goodness. Let's keep on simulating now as we have Lightning coming up, who we lost 4-3 against the week prior. Tampa Bay, we lose 1-0. Fantastic. Buffalo Sabres, who are 9-6-1 in Buffalo, we beat them 2-1. Winnipeg Jets at home, we lose 5-3 against them. Arizona Coyotes in Scottsdale, Arizona. Oh, the simulation is so slow. We lose 4-2. I don't get it. I don't get it. And a 5-2 win there against the Hurricanes as the simulation kept going a little bit. We are 8-10-2 through 20 games, and I am pretty surprised, I do have to say. And we gotta start thinking about how we're going to turn this ship around. Nylander 19 points in 20 games, Giroux 14, Pavelski 13. That's all good. Farabee 12, I like that as well. Lindblom 11, that's nice. Ratcliffe 11, Frost 11, Couturier 10, Seider 10. These are all good numbers right now. Risto 10, Sanheim 6. Bobby Brink has been a struggling point here. 5 points in 20 games. Maybe we put him back to the third line. York, Ronnie, Forster 2 points. McLaughlin, Ellis 1 point, -8. Strome. Zek has been okay, actually. I might keep Ryan Ellis out of the lineup. Ryan Ellis might even be a trade candidate at the age of 33 with 3 years left on his deal. I wanted to keep him. People have been calling for him to be traded, and I am more convinced than ever after what he's been showing us. Goaltending, Carter Hart 6-6-2, 907 save percentage. Subban's turned it around. He's 2-2-0 with a shutout. Very nice. Ustimenko not great, but small sample size. Yeah, down in the AHL, just quickly, I'm curious. Savoie, nothing there yet, but Paros has 14 points in 22 games. Couturier could be better, 10 points in 20 games. That's been a bit odd, but maybe it's the special teams. We're scoring 2.65 per game, but letting in 3 per game on average. Power play at 10.3%, one of the worst in the league. So that should be something we look at fixing. And our penalty kill is at 93.1. Wow, so is that the best in the NHL? Second best in the league for penalty kill. So let's change the power play up a little bit, and I'm gonna throw Ryan Ellis on the trade block and keep him as a healthy scratch for now. All right, so moving forward, we're gonna try stacking the first unit of the power play. Claude Giroux will come up and give it a +5. Ratcliffe will replace Bobby Brink and go on the second unit. In the starting lineup, we're going to go Farabee, Pavelski, Nylander, Giroux, Couturier, Lindblom in the top 6. Brink down on that third line with Ratcliffe and Frost. Goaltending, we're going to give Subban the next start. And on the trade block will be Ryan Ellis, who stays as a healthy scratch, as Sanheim, Seider, York, Risto, and Zek and Ronnie will be our defensive pairs. Let's see how that does, starting with this game against the Anaheim Ducks. They're 12-5-4. We're at home to host them here on December the 3rd, 2024. Little Western Conference swing coming up. First period, 1-0 Flyers. William Nylander on that first line. There we go. First goal of the game. Second period, and it's 2-0 thanks to Claude Giroux. Shots tied at 18, but we're up 2-0. Power play Philly early, and it's a power play goal from the +5 first unit. Claude Giroux avec son deuxième. 3-0 Flyers. That's what we like to see. Big showing, boys. Power play from the Ducks. That's killed off. Really big showing here, boys. Hats off to all of you. Whatever the score is at the end of this one, this is a big win. Shots are still pretty even, and we end it with 28-26 in our favor. 3-0 shutout victory. Malcolm Subban's third win and second shutout of the year. The slow sim king, Malcolm Subban. Giroux with 2 goals, Nylander a goal and an assist. This was a great showing tonight, gentlemen. 3-0 victory. I'm going to turn auto goalie rotate off after this back-to-back coming up against the Jets and the Avalanche. I want Malcolm Subban to be getting more starts. So Hart will likely start against the Jets, and the AI will likely put Subban in against the Avalanche. So here's this first game against the Jets. We lose 7-1. Lovely. And in the second game, I'll change that in a minute. Wyatt Wiley's out for a few. And a 4-1 loss. Great. Okay. So auto goalie rotate being turned off. Malcolm Subban getting the starts moving forward. I just don't get how we're outscored 11-2 the last 2 games. The plus minuses aren't even horrible. It's Strider's at a -6, but Cam York's at a -15. How is that possible? No one else is even close. Rasmus is a +8. Cooper Zek's a -3 in 9 games. Ronnie's an even plus-minus through 23 games. How can Cam York be a -15? Do I need to play Ronnie and Risto together? I don't know. And then we'll go York and Zach. Malcolm Subban is between the pipes with auto goalie rotate turned off, so we'll give him the next little stretch of games. Let's continue through the month of December. Let's go see the Toronto Maple Leafs, a little Travis Konechny versus William Nylander action. as we have a good number of games between now and then. Hopefully we'll have a record that is above 500 as we're 9-12-2. We beat the Hurricanes 7-1, thank goodness. After we lose 7-1 and 4-1 back-to-back, we win 7-1, lose 4-2, lose 3-2, 10-14-2 is the record. Denoye concussion, love it. Okay, that's all done. Can I please get back to the actual calendar with this glitched system? Please, finishing. Great. All right, so we beat the Hurricanes 4-3 after beating them 7-1 the week prior and beating them 5-2 the week before that. So that's 3 wins in 3 weeks against the Hurricanes. At least there's that. We beat the Kraken 3-1 as we're now 12-14-2 with 3 more games until we take on the Leafs. In Ottawa against the Senators, we beat them 3-2 in the shootout. Then we lose 3-2 in the shootout against the Blue Jackets, and we face them again just a couple days later. Another injury down in the minors, and then another 3-2 shootout loss against the Blue Jackets again. We are 13-14-4 as we come into this game against the 19-14-1 Toronto Maple Leafs. Willie Nee versus Travis Konechny. Let's do it. We're at home. We have that advantage at the very least. Let's see if Malcolm Subban can get another miracle here in the slow sim. First period, 1-0 Flyers. Moritz Seider on Samuel Montembeault. Second period, 4-1 Leafs. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Highest Patrick Kane Suter, Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews on the power play, and Rasmus Sandin on Carter Hart, who comes in relief. 4 goals in 1 period. 5-1, and let's just call it a day. 6-2 the final as Nylander adds 1 just for fun. This is crazy, guys. This is crazy. What is wrong with all of you? This is some of the best chemistry, the best overalls, and nothing's going our way. That's why we got to stop at the halfway point. There's just... I would trade Couturier. I would trade Ellis. I don't know what to say here. Farabee, 25 points. Great. Pavelski, 8 goals, 15 assists. Not doing it for me. All right, Pavelski's out. Giroux's now back to being first-line center. Giroux has 24 points, at least, on the year. Couturier, who has 8 goals, 18 points in 32 games. Lindblom, 10 goals, 11 assists. That's not bad. Let's try that. Ratcliffe, 15 points. Morgan Frost, 6 goals, 9 assists, -11. That's horrible. And Bobby Brink, also horrible, 8 points and -7. Like, that third line, Frost and Brink are both killing us. The fourth line has barely any points and negative plus minuses, so maybe we fix that as well. I'm at a loss here. Sanheim +7, Siders even, Ronnie -2, Risto +4, Cam York now -18, and Cooper a -2. York, buddy, you are horrible. I don't get it. York, you're out. Ellis, you're in. Let's do that. Let's do that. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Subban, 918 save percentage, 2.38 goals against. He's been fine. It's Carter Hart, who's sub 900. I would trade Hart, Couturier, and Ellis right now, and like Brink and Frost. So help me, I will overhaul this team. In Chicago against the Blackhawks, who are 15-14-4. Our last game of the 2024 calendar year. We're 4-4-2 in our last 10. They're 7-1-2. Malcolm Subban against one of his old teams. First period, 0-0. Second period, 1-0 Flyers. Claude Giroux, first line centerman. Thank you very much from the captain. 1-0 after 40. Here in the third period, being outshot slightly, 25-21 at the moment. The Blackhawks are fighting hard. We're standing as tall as we can. I'd love some more run support here, gentlemen. Let's go with 5 minutes left. All that firepower on this team, and we're barely going to squeak it out. Oh my goodness. We can't win all these games 1-0. Malcolm Subban, bow down before the slow sim king. A 29 save shutout from Subban. I press continue. These menus are so sticky, they make me buzz. The game-winning goal goes to the captain, and another shutout from Malcolm Subban. I don't know how he does it. Do we have to slow sim every game until the halfway point of the season? Is that what I have to do? Just going one at a time to make this team do well? Malcolm Subban has 8 wins, and 3 of them are shutouts. 923 save percentage, 2.23 goals against. Meanwhile, Carter Hart, the 89 overall, is an 898 with over 3 goals against per game. Like, would now be the time to extend him, maybe? I don't know. We'll think about that towards next episode. But do I need to slow sim every game? Is that really what I have to do now? As well, we're almost at the halfway point, so we can think about wrapping things up relatively soon. I'm going to slow sim the games. That's just what I'm going to do, and I'm going to update you as we go. Maybe we'll hop into the third period of every slow sim game. So here we are down 2-1 against the Canadiens. Moritz Seider scoring our lone goal. 5 minutes into the period, shots tied at 25. Montreal pulling away a little bit. Halfway through the third now. It's still just a 1-goal game. We need the run support. Where is the scoring? Where is the scoring? My goodness. Risto adds a goal, but, you know, we allow 3 on 33 shots? Come on. Subban can only do so much. The guy does amazing, but where are the goals? I don't understand. It's like we score in the calendar, but we get scored on. If we do the slow sim, we only allow 1, 2, or 3 goals max, but when we score, like, we get shut out or we score 1. I don't understand who's not scoring goals. Like, everyone just wants to be a playmaker this season? I don't get it. We're 14, 16, and 4 now. Here we go against the Sharks. Into the third period, we're up 1-0 thanks to Sean Couturier. Power play in the third, killed off by the Sharks. Shots 32-19. Eklund scores in the power play. We get the shots, but we cannot score in the slow sim. I don't understand. 8 minutes left, still a tie game. Can we get a hero? Calling on my son Rasmus with 2 minutes to go. Final minute, we're going to head to overtime now. Shots 40-29, and Sean Couturier, thank you, who's been terrible all season. He scores the only 2 goals of the game. I have to rely on Sean Couturier, who has like 8 goals in 40 games, to score twice. Shots 41-29, and we're lucky to squeak it out as Subban makes 28 saves for another win. Farabee, 10 goals, 17 assists. Giroux, 11 goals. Nylander, 10 goals. Like, that first line, no one scored more than 11 goals in 35 games. Like, no one on that first line is on pace for more than, like, 22, 23, 24 goals. Second line, Lindblom, 10. Couturier, 10. Pavelski, 8. Third line, Ratcliffe, 5. Frost, 6. And Brink, 3. What happened? Everyone just dried up offensively? +7, 0, -1, +5, -3, -9 for Ryan Ellis, who's been back for a little bit now, as Cam York has been the healthy scratch. Malcolm Subban at a .924 save percentage, just a tank out there. I'm just going to slow sim until the end, until the halfway points, and we're going to call it there, do a final wrap-up, and I'm going to be very much looking forward to the comments from the assistant general managers. 6 more games to slow sim. Let me just get you the results of each one. The Devils, who were 15, 19, and 2, beat us 4-1, as we once again score only 1 goal. The Panthers, who were 21, 12, and 2, beat us 5-3, as we finally score more than 1, but then we allow 5. The Rangers, who were 22, 11, and 3, also beat us 5-3, as we once again score more than 1, but then allow 4, plus the empty netter. We can't just keep doing this. We can't just keep losing. We're 3, 5, and 2 in our last 10. We're 15, 19, and 4. Are you guys not disgusted with yourselves? Are you not embarrassed at all? I really want to know if these guys have any embarrassment whatsoever. Any embarrassment. Pavelski, bro, get back to the first line, I guess. You're down to an 86 because you're having such a bad season. I signed you for $9 million after you scored over a point per game, and then you do this. This is what you give me, bro? This is what you give me? Let's go Farabee, Couturier, Lindblom, I guess. I don't know. There's just no one who I can promote who's scoring. -9, -13, -5. They're horrible. They are horrible. It's like we're in such a bad spot that I don't even know what we can do. Maybe we just have to ride it out. We have no first-round pick in this draft. You know what? I'm not even going to go to the halfway point. We're stopping there, ladies and gentlemen. We are stopping here. After 3 consecutive losses, was it? We're stopping here. Let's take a look at what's going on in the league here. We got to hear from the rest of the assistant general managers before we just keep losing and losing and losing more and more. We're one of the worst teams in the league right now, obviously. We're scoring 2.53 per game and allowing 3 per game. Power play is at 12.1%, which is better than the 10 that it was at, but it's still at the bottom of the NHL. So I guess we make more power play changes, but there's a +5 in that first unit. There's only so many players that we can draw from. Penalty kill at 87.9, which has dropped a little bit, but that is still among the best in the league. So penalty kill, that's like the one thing that's working for us. Nylander has 33 and 38. He's on pace for like 65, 70 points. Giroux on pace for the 60s as well with 30 and 38. Farabee 29, Pavelski 24, Lindblom 22, Couturier 20. He's on pace for like a 45 point season. I don't get this guy. I don't get this guy. At least if he was doing well defensively. And yeah, he's a -2, but we're getting scored on way too much. Ratcliffe 16 points, which is nice. Seider 16, -5. Frost 15 and a -13. Risto 13 points plus 4, Sanheim 12 plus 2. Bobby Brink with 9 points is really shocking. Really shocking. York 8 points, negative 18 in 32 games. Ronnie 5 points, negative 2. Ellis 4 points, negative 9 in 20 games. Strome 2 points, negative 7. Forster 2 points, negative 14. Come on, even as a fourth liner, you're playing 11 minutes a night, you have 2 points? Put me in front of the net, I'll get a couple more points than that. McLaughlin 1 goal in 7 games. Zek 1 point, negative 3 in 24. Allison no points and a negative 11 in 27 games. So I guess we have to overhaul the fourth line. I don't know what. Subban is 9-10-2 with 3 shutouts, 917 save percentage, 2.46 goals against. Carter Hart is 6-8-2 with an 898 save percentage and 3.05 goals against average. I'm telling you, I would trade Hart, Couturier, Ellis, Frost. I would have a blockbuster. I am telling you I would. But that's why I got to stay controlled a little bit. Take out the emotion chip. Data has got to stay controlled. But I have to hear back from all of you on what we're going to do with this team to turn the season around and try to make the postseason. And that will start with possibly making some trades. So let's check out the trade blocks around the NHL. If there's anyone you want to know more about, leave a comment or leave me a message in the Discord server, and I'll tell you more about that player you may be interested in. On the Ducks, we got Adam Ernie. On the Coyotes, there's Kevin Hayes and Andre Palat with 2 years left. Mark Giordano also there. Boston Bruins have Lindholm, Leddy, Carlo Rask, and Riley. Multi-year deals, though. Jack Quinn on an expiring deal in Buffalo. Patrice Bergeron on an expiring deal in Calgary. 1 year left at 7.7. He's having a very good season. He has, 44 points in 39 games. Mangiapane, Haula, Coleman, also guys with term who are on the block. But the Flames, yeah, they're a losing team. I could see some trades happening from the Flames. I could also see some trades happening from us if we're looking to just say, let's just trade the veterans, get some picks in this high class since we have no first, and try to just regroup from there. Carolina, D'Angelo, Slavin, Bertuzzi, Shea. Like, are we going to try to make a push, or do we just try to recoup some prospects? So keep an eye on the prospects, guys like Jack Quinn, whoever else. Prospects here in Colorado. Columbus, Jenner, Bjorkstrand, Smith. Moore has a 5-year contract. Dallas, Antonio Stranges. Detroit, Miller, Heinen, and Subban. Hyman, CC, Gustafson, Lehkonen, and etc. on the Oilers. Florida Panthers, some various prospects. LA Kings, Pinelli, and some other prospects. Minnesota Wild, Obi Kubel, and others. Montreal Canadiens, Ryan Suter. Predators, some prospects. New Jersey Devils, prospects including Nolan Foote, but I wouldn't want to acquire him. Islanders, Keith Yandel, Blickfeld, Sal. Yeah, nothing really interesting there. Goodros and a couple prospects on the Rangers. Appleton, Benning, Gambrell on the Senators. Penguins have Muzzin, Edmondson, Matheson, Pedersen, and Orlov. Sharks, Brent Burns, an expiring deal. Kraken, nobody. St. Louis Blues, everybody's here. Parayko, Shen, Krug, Falk, Sod, Brody, Sherratt, down the list there. Tampa Bay Lightning have some prospects. And actually, RFA of Brendan Hagel. We could acquire Hagel, but we wouldn't be able to use him this season. He does have quite a bit of value, though, but keep that in mind. Other prospects are also there. This guy, Ward, 75 overall, 20 years of age. Matthew Ward, first-round pick in 2022, center playmaker. Okay. Toronto Maple Leafs, Alex Radulov's there. Vancouver prospects, Vegas Golden Knights, Pacioretty, Carlson, Monahan, Svechnikov, Silverberg, Evgeny Svechnikov, that is. Most of them with multi-years, but Pacioretty on an expiring contract. Capitals, some prospects. Winnipeg Jets prospects. And that's pretty much it. Not really too much of note on the trade blocks at this time. But we could recoup some picks here. We could, if we're looking at players who are on expiring deals. McLaughlin, Giroux, Ronnie, Ratcliffe, Strome, Tracy, Pavelski, Allison, Frost. All of these guys are on expiring deals. Because if guys like Frost and Pavelski, I don't know what, or even Carter Hart, who's on an expiring deal, yes, Frost and Hart will be RFAs, but Giroux and Pavelski are expiring UFAs, who've been playing well, but I don't know what the problem has been. So if we want to extend a guy like Claude Giroux, I'm sure the demands are a bit lower. We have 23.5 to play with. Giroux wants 6.6 at the moment. For 2 years, he takes 6.075. Pavelski would take 7.5, but that'll come down. Morgan Frost at the moment is thinking $4 million-ish. We could get him for 3 years at like in the low 3s or mid 3s, or we could go longer term. Do we want to bank on him bouncing back or just cut ties with him right now? Isaac Ratcliffe, who's been having a good season, that's actually a very reasonable contract. I could see Isaac Ratcliffe coming back. And for Carter Hart, here he is, the 89 overall. He wants $7 million, 7.675 for 2 years. I'd want to sign him longer term if he's going to be an RFA, like 4 or 5 years. And he's wanting 9, 10 million. I know we want to commit to a goaltender. That was part of our mandate when we came to Philadelphia after the carousel of goalies for so many years. Mason, Brizgalov, Emery, Bobrovsky, so many goalies in Philadelphia. Carter Hart, we want him to be the guy, but with no one else in our system, it makes it hard to trade him. But with Malcolm Subban playing so well, maybe we can trade for a goalie prospect. And if we're looking at all the goalies in the league who are between 17 and 24 years of age, sorting by potential here, there are a good number of medium elites. We could go with young, like a Sebastian Cossa from the Red Wings. Would they be thinking about letting him go if we gave them the right package? Like, he's also struggling a little bit. Maybe he signed, but he's on an expiring deal as well. There are other good goalies who are young, like Wallstedt and Knight, but I doubt those guys go. There are prospects who are projects in the 40 overalls. There is this guy, Tenel, 18 years of age, 62 overall, medium elite, Ahmed Tenel, 41st overall selection, second round by Detroit. They have Kosa, so maybe they'd be open to trading him. But again, that would be a project. If we're thinking about young goalies who we could get right now, maybe Jeffrey Lebowski, perhaps. Maybe Hugo Alnfelt. Wallstedt might be too crazy, but Dostal, Dawes, Cranley, Rodrigue. Just looking at some names out here. So those are possibilities. I can see the Ducks trading Dostal when they have Parsons in the system as well. But by the way, just looking at goalies who are on the trade block to help us for our decision making. Tristan Jarry is on the block, 86 overall, 2 more years at $6.51 million. Currently with decent numbers on the Hurricanes. Sergei Bobrovsky on the block in Florida, 2 more years at $10 million, 87 overall. Good numbers, decent numbers as a backup, but that's a big price tag. This prospect Markkanen, who we had, I forget which franchise mode, we had him at one point, maybe with the Sabres, 72 overall, 22 years of age, medium starter on the block. Ty Brennan, 71 overall, 21 years of age, medium starter, also on the block. Vitek Vanacek on the block, 84 overall, 29 years of age, expiring contract at 4.775. Decent numbers. Cranley is on the block over in St. Louis, 81 overall, 22 years of age, medium starter potential. Down in the AHL, not good numbers at all, but only played a couple games. A 6th round pick back in 2020. That could be something, eh? Expiring deal, 81 overall, 22 years of age. Keep that in mind. This unsigned starter from the Lightning, 60 overall, 19 years of age, medium starter potential. And finally, this guy Blomqvist on the Jets, 77 overall, 21 years of age, medium starter potential as well. So there are all the goalies on the trade blocks in the NHL. I found it interesting if you caught that Matt Murray is also back on the Penguins. I found that interesting. How some players find their way back to a team that they were on previously. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call it right there. After 38 games, we're 15, 19, and 4. Do we call it a season, start trading away those expiring contracts, or can we make a push for the postseason? We need scoring. I thought Pavelski was the guy after 30-plus goals, 80-plus points. He has 8 goals, 16 assists on the year so far. Giroux hasn't been doing much. Couturier's been really slow. He had, like 30 goals? The season that got blipped. The season that got blipped away, he scored, 35 goals? I don't get it. Over in free agency, Thomas Tatar and Phil Kessel are both still free agents who are 81 overall and would take league minimum contracts. So that could be something interesting. Tatar 3.5-star shooting and Kessel with 4-star shooting. We've had Kessel on the Flyers before, so maybe we bring him back. That could be a possibility for us. And speaking of free agents who are also here, 45-year-old Patrick Marleau, maybe we bring him back for one last ride. 3-star shooting from him. Hey, who says no? Third line, Frost and Brink have been horrible. Ellis has not been good. Cam York has been atrocious. Man, a lot of different things to think about, so I'm giving you a lot to process, and I wish you all the best. I have some ideas of what I would do, but I'm looking forward to seeing what all the assistant general managers have to say. It's a team effort. It's the hive mind coming together. We wouldn't be able to succeed without all of you throwing in your 2 cents. So if you have some thoughts, please do leave them no matter what they are. Even if I don't get to them in the video, I will get to them in the comments, and they'll go into the grand scheme of things. Leave it down here on YouTube, or leave a thought over on the Discord server, link in the description. And of course, keep in mind that just because a player isn't on the block, it doesn't mean we can't trade for him. It'll just be more difficult to do so. But if we're giving up a boatload of value in big names, it would make sense that a team that wasn't thinking of trading a player would now think of trading him. If you enjoyed this episode, despite the struggles so far, be sure to leave a like. And of course, consider subscribing if you haven't already. NHL 22 franchise mode, career simulations. Don't miss the Cutter Gauthier sim that just went up a couple days ago. Breaking news and analysis in the real world of hockey, as you would have seen with the Nazem Kadri and Sean Monahan news. And much, much more, as we have just broken the 5,000 subscriber benchmark. Thank you once again to everyone for helping us to hit that goal. And there's much, much more to come. I'll end it off there. Thank you so very much for watching. I am very excited to read your thoughts headed into the second half of 2024-25, and I will see you in the next one.